Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I want to talk to you today about some ideas that I think can help you to bring more abundance in the world around you, but also just really help you to continue to make some positive changes in your life. I believe really the world could use more compassion and concern for other people right now. And ironically, this is probably the best strategy you could have to create the best version of yourself and eliminate maybe some negative or scarcity thinking in yourself as well. I've always found that when I stop thinking about my own misfortune or problems, or I start to focus on the service and compassion for others, my life always changes in a really amazing way. So today I want to talk to you about learning to change your perspective on yourself by focusing on others. I mean, let's face it, if you can't change the way you see yourself, then you're never going to shift into an optimal state of abundant thinking. So I'm referring to kind of those stories that we tell ourselves about who we are, how we act, most importantly, how we see ourselves in the mirror. You've probably heard Tony Robbins and many other leaders have, and a lot of the thought leaders out there have talked about changing your limiting beliefs and self-image in order to restore confidence, motivation, and passion in your life. But it always starts with changing the view you have of yourself. And I've personally found many people suffering lately from either a low self-image or a distorted version of who they think they are. And, I can't emphasize enough how much this tends to limit and block the growth that you have and that you're so desperately trying to achieve in your life when you have these problems. In order to really start to have a more abundant mind, you've got to start with how you see yourself and the perspective or filter that you kind of lay over or apply to your life. You've heard this saying before, but it really bears mentioning again. You are not your past. Your past does not define you. And I know that we hear that and we understand it, but it's really hard to accept sometimes. I truly believe that most of us do agree with that statement. But why do we continue to define ourselves with our limiting beliefs about ourselves from the past? And let me just give you a few examples. Maybe you catch yourself saying things like, I always, or I never, or that's just the way I am, or I'm bad at relationships, or I this always happens to me, or I wish I could just catch a break. Those kind of things, I could go on and on and on, but I want you to consider that sometimes we even feel or believe certain things about ourselves that limit us, even if they are subconscious and they're not even actually things that we outwardly express. And so the bottom line is that if you don't have unshakable confidence, then it's likely that you have some thoughts or feelings that are just not positive or healthy in your life. And the reason I can say this is because I know, even without knowing some of you personally, I know that every single person reading or listening to this message, or whether you're on the blog or the podcast or whatever it is, we've all overcome massive obstacles and challenges in our lives. The fact is, the reason I can say that you've overcome these challenges is that you're here, you're alive, you're a living, breathing person. I mean, do you realize how incredibly rare and unique and special that is? Also, you've had to overcome millions of challenges growing up. You had to learn to walk and talk and act and survive, and there was very little that anyone could do to literally make your mind and body do these things, but you were able to do it. Of course, we've had people in our lives there to help us, or when we, fell or couldn't get up, somebody could help us. But you have to recognize that all throughout your life, you've been able to overcome, adapt, and triumph in so many ways. And the real problem is that most of us often, we don't see ourselves as winners. And even if you're winning at a high level, a lot of times some of the biggest achievers have issues and don't see themselves with unshakable confidence and as a winner. It's like Rocky said in that movie that we all know. It's not how many times you fall down in life that count. It's about how many times you pick yourself up and keep going on. And that's not just really kind of a cool story. It's a truth. It's a universal truth. So remember that you are not your past. I mean, literally, you are not that 1-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old. You're not the second or third grader learning to write your name. You're not the person that got that first job and learned a skill. You're not the past. And you're not even that past version of yourself that you're thinking you are right now. So stop comparing, stop filtering and judging your life based on the past, because you're not your past. You are, however, the future. Because improved versions of yourself that are going to be created are what you have to visualize. You need you need that second principle I want to emphasize, that if you learn to visualize and accept and challenge yourself to become the best versions of you, then you will manifest that in your life. The first thing you've got to realize is that you're not your past, but the second thing you got to realize is that you are becoming your future. And sort of a key principle to learn is that you've got to start to filter and visualize yourself as the best version of yourself that's going to happen in order to create that growth and success and fulfillment in your life, and more importantly, become an abundant thinker. Because abundance is expecting something that you don't already have in your life. The reason we can be abundant is that you are always evolving, growing, and becoming a better person. You know this from experience already, right? You've experienced this already, that you've become a better version of yourself. And it's been happening all your life. So let's go ahead and get ahead of the curve and just create the version that you know you're going to become. You understand what I'm saying with this concept? I mean, if you've seen your whole life you becoming a better version of yourself, why not just assume you're going to create that best version and start working towards it? Now, I want to suggest that when you stop viewing the past version of yourself and you start visualizing and believing the future version is real, that's when a miracle and that's when crazy awesome things are going to happen in your life. This act of visualizing your best version of you, it's going to provide you with so many benefits in your life. You're going to be more inspired to live that version. You're going to become more motivated in your work. You're going to, your vision and goals are going to become more clear and vivid. You'll handle situations differently. You won't hold yourself to an old standard, but you'll hold yourself to a new standard. You'll eliminate the distractions, negativity, and destructive, thoughts that you've had. And you know what? You're going to be more patient and grateful for your life. You're going to recognize that the growth and the little small wins are more and more important than those little losses and those little failures. And most importantly, you're going to begin to build unshakable confidence and a higher self-esteem personally. Now, I know this whole thing, today isn't easy. If it were easy, it wouldn't be hard, right? Listen to that statement again. If it were easy, it wouldn't be hard. And we need something that's hard for us to grow, don't we? Absolutely. We want things to challenge us. We want things to push us so that we will grow. So I recommend you double down on your daily rituals. I recommend you implement affirmations, maybe some of these I am statements to talk about and instill in your conscious and subconscious beliefs that you are the best version of yourself, that you are a great leader, a great husband, father, wife, brother, sister, that you are a great person, that you are talented, that you are unique. I know this is the way that you're going to create the life that you are meant to live, and I challenge you to do it. And so that's the message I have for you today. I hope you'll take that into your thoughts and really implement some things that'll make some changes. And I know that that'll benefit you in your life. Stop comparing yourself to the past version. Start believing and manifesting the future version, and you're going to live an incredible life. That's my message for today. Listen, do me a favor. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Instagram, Facebook. Let us know what you're working on. What do you like about what we're covering on the podcast? What can we do to assist you more? And then if you go to dailymastermind.com, you're going to find that you can opt into our community. If you haven't dropped your email address in at the website, do that, because we have some awesome stuff that we've been sending out to our community. We have some really cool stuff that we've been starting to send out there, and we want to give you the tools and resources you need to be successful, be productive, and create your best life. So have an amazing day. I will talk to you soon. This is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind.